Welcome. I'm so happy that you've chosen to join me for this podcast. We're going to be talking about breaking free from the inner critic that causes anxiety, stress, that gets in the way of your creativity and passion and even your potential. So, the first question I have for you is, do you ever get stressed? Do you procrastinate? How about feeling stuck or feeling like something's blocking you? Is that something that happens in your life? If it is, you're going to be delighted that you are listening to this podcast. Because today we're going to be talking about something that I truly have a passion for. For over 30 years, I have been researching how to develop a plan to help people to get unstuck whenever they feel overwhelmed, worried, or stressed. So some of the things we'll be doing is I'll be showing you ways to create a state of mind where your creativity flows naturally and easily. We'll be talking about how to open new pathways so that you can free yourself from the patterns that trigger blocks and that get in the way of your creativity in your career, in your relationships, and in your life. We'll also be talking about the courage that is needed to step on a new path. Because most of us have a fear of judgment and a fear of failure, we need to release those fears so that we can feel more curiosity in stepping on a new path, excitement about stepping on a new path, instead of having all those thoughts racing in the mind, making you worry about what will people think, what will I think of myself, will I fail, will I not do this good enough. Those are all the kind of questions that get in the way of your true self. So the way we do this is we look for ways to get free of the emotional obstacles, the old beliefs and reactions that are getting in your way. So how do we do this? The steps for today, we're going to be talking about the steps. Step 1. First, we look at you, where you are in your career, in your life, and in your relationships. Step 1 is to continue to look at what isn't working. We want to keep those things that are working, but first we want to know what's getting in the way. What's getting in the way of your creativity? What's getting in the way of your passion? What's getting in the way of that true potential that lies right there inside of you? Once we have figured out what's getting in the way, what's not working, we begin to experiment with different hypnotic tools, cognitive tools, and behavioral tools to get underneath the symptoms that you're feeling, which are procrastination, worry, stress. We want to get to the root of where these reactions get formed. Once at the root, we need to learn how to speak the language of the unconscious mind so we can actually change those patterns and programs that aren't working for you. Now, there's a lot we need to do before we start changing those inner programs. And for this podcast, I want to be going over some of the really important things that you have to know first. It's like when you build a house, you have to have the foundation before you put up the walls and the ceilings and the rooms and then put little gingerbread around. You need to be able to set the foundation. So we start with looking at 3 specific and different types of ways to stop anxiety, self-doubt, worry, and procrastination. Then it's also important because many people who come to me tell me they've been doing mantras and visualizations that are supposed to work. Well, let's look at why they fail to produce the desired results. Because once you understand what's getting in the way of those working, we can fix it so they'll work better. We also want to be able to find out where the unwanted reactions come from. Because if you just fix the problem, the symptoms, underneath, it's like the tip of the iceberg. The symptoms are what's the tip of the iceberg. But we need to go underneath and figure out where are these things coming from? Why are you being triggered? And then we get to experience hypnotic techniques. Now, in my live groups and my people who watch online, I actually do a hypnotic technique where we change a limiting belief, and it takes about maybe 2 minutes, if that. And I usually start with a physical limitation that you didn't even know was running. And it's a fun, easy way to begin to use hypnosis. For, the podcast, I can't show you that, but we'll do some exercises to get your mind ready to be in the best state for learning, for getting to your true self, and also for looking for the root. So let's just start. I am a hypnotherapist. I am the director of the Anxiety Control Center. I'm also I'm a hypnotherapist there as well. And over the years, it just seems that people with panic and anxiety find me. And I had to find a way, because I'm a hypnotist, but I know that people with anxiety and panic, they don't want to feel out of control. So if you're feeling anxiety and panic and you think you can't be hypnotized, let me tell you, there's a form of hypnosis that we can use together where you are totally awake and aware, and yet you're on a little tiny bit of an altered state. It's kind of like when you go and watch a movie, and let's say it's an action movie and something's happening and your heart is beating, it's almost like you're in the movie. You're still aware of things going around. That's kind of the level of hypnotic state we need to get to the root of reaction. So let's start with your first exercise right now, and then I will give you a link for a more detailed, it's a 7-minute video for calming the mind and body. So for now, I just want you to take a moment and take a breath. You're not trying to breathe in any particular way. You're just breathing in and breathing out. And if you feel comfortable, you can just allow your eyes to close. The only reason to do that, it's easier to focus within with your eyes closed. If you choose to keep your eyes open, then just look at a spot above eye level, somewhere in the distance, in whatever place you're in. And as you're breathing, we're going to use the breath as kind of like a touchstone. So if thoughts come, you're just going to go back to your breath. So that's going to be your touchstone. So for now, you're just noticing your breathing. And the way I like to make it easier to notice the breath is you focus on the tip of your nose. And you're just noticing the air going in and the air being released right through the nose. And you can become aware that there's a slight difference in temperature between the inhalation and the exhalation. So you're just continuing to focus on the breathing, on the breath moving in and out. Not trying to change anything at all at this point. And you're just doing a body scan, looking for any areas of tension. Not trying to make anything happen. Notice your neck, your shoulders, your back, your legs, your arms. Notice if there's any place tension is held. You can notice tension as a tightness sometimes. Sometimes there'll be a heaviness to it. Tension can sometimes feel hot or cold or tingling. So you're just doing a body scan. And if you were to rate that amount of tension on a 0 to 10, where 0 is like, oh, I'm so calm, I could just sleep, and 10 is like, oh, I'm having a panic attack, just give yourself a number of how much tension or stress you're feeling right at this particular second. Now again, bringing your mind back to your breath. Breathing in And breathing out, noticing, if you can, the slight differentiation between the temperature on the inhale from the exhale. And I want you to imagine that the room you're in right now is filled with a color. And for right now, we're going to use the color of violet. Like that's a light purplish color. And with your next breath, you're going to continue just breathing. But since the room you're in is totally filled with this color or energy of violet, with every breath, the color goes in. And on the exhale, the color goes out. And if there's any sounds around you, you can let those sounds remind you to breathe. Breathing in the violet color, breathing it in. Letting it fill you so totally that if you were made of glass, you'd see this color throughout your entire body. And all you're doing is focusing on the tip of your nose, letting the color go in. And the color being released. And you're not trying to make anything happen at all. Just breathing. The simplest method of changing your state of mind. And whatever happens is what happens. So you're just noticing anything that it feels like in the body. There's no have-tos. You're just noticing whatever there is to notice. And we're going to take 3 more breaths, breathing in the color. Imagining you could see it in your body as if you were made of glass, going through every particle, every cell, all the muscles, the nerves, the fibers are all completely suffused with this color. And then I want you to gently begin to come back towards the present, coming back inside of yourself, noticing whatever there is to notice in your body. And again, rate your level of stress or anxiety on a 0 to 10. Give it a number. Just notice if that has gone down, stayed the same, or gone up. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And then when you're all the way back, just gently open your eyes, being curious, thinking about the experience. And if you have a pen and paper near you or computer, just begin to write whatever you noticed as you did this first exercise. And I'm Audrey Sussman from the Anxiety Control Center, and I'll be back with you in the future for another podcast for simple and easy ways to use your own mind to de-stress the body. I hope that you get to join me in one of my workshops or privately. And you can contact me by going to the website anxietycontrolcenter.com, and you'll see a contact button there. Feel free to send me any questions at anxietycontrol, ANXIETYCONTROL @gmail.com. And I'll be happy to answer those questions in either an MP3 format or in a post that I create. Looking forward to hearing from you. Audrey Sussman signing out for today.